Today I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about barcodes and 2D codes. Today, barcodes or 2D codes can be found on almost anything, from pharmaceuticals to cereal, stationery, milk powder, all sorts of things. What is it there for? Well, it's there for a couple of different reasons. One particular reason is to allow a machine to quickly work out what the product is, and usually that's to give it a price so you can buy it. And another is to talk to customers. So this allows the manufacturer to communicate with the customer when the customer scans this code. These are machine readable codes, making it very simple for the machines to actually identify the items. So let's now have a look at what a system would look like that reads these. So let's have a look at some of the key elements of the system. First of all, obviously we have a product. And each product has a code on it. Now this particular one has a QR code, this one has an EAN13 code, that one has another QR, and this one has a 2D data matrix code. Could also be EAN8 or other sorts of barcode. But basically we have products running along a line. In this particular case I have a little turntable here. These products rotate, pretending that it's a production line. We then have a camera or a barcode scanner, and that looks at the different codes as they come past the camera. Like most machine applications, we need a little PE, and the PE has a little trigger which, when it sees the product, it tells the camera, take a look now. And in this particular case we also have a display. Now in most barcoding applications we wouldn't actually have a display because the answer is simply yes or no, but in this instance we have a display just to give us some feedback, and the technicians use this display when they're setting up the system. Okay, so let's have a look at each of these particular elements. This code here, as you can see, it's just stuck on sample, but this is an EAN13 barcode. I'll just rotate this a little bit. So this next one is a QR code. As I mentioned before, this is typically to communicate from the manufacturer to the consumer. This is a data matrix code. These ones are quite small, but a data matrix code. And there's another QR code on this item here. Then we have the camera itself, or the barcode scanner, and there are several different types depending on what the application is. This particular one is a camera, so it takes an image of an area, so let's say an area like that, and it looks at what it sees in there when the trigger senses it. This one also has you'll see a light on there, so a light comes on as the item goes past. So if I cover the code, we'll get a red light. I'll slow it down a little bit. And if I see, the light was red. And if I don't cover the code, we'll get a green light. So you'll see the light goes green. Oops. So it gives you instant feedback to the operator. If there's a green light, it means it was red. If it's a red light, the code was not read correctly, or it's the wrong code. So we can speed this up, which we'll do in a minute, and see it go a bit faster. On the camera itself, I don't know if you're able to come around this side, Madeline, you'll see in there the lights in the camera. So the red flash is the actual camera lighting up the product, and the green light we can see is the indication, yes, I got a good read, or if I put my hand on it, you'll see a red light will come up at the bottom there saying I didn't get a good read. So we get some operator feedback. And then we have the PE, which we mentioned, which triggers as the product goes past, and then this screen. So this screen is showing us a display of what the camera can see. The blue area is the area that the camera is actually inspecting. The bigger the area of inspection, effectively the slower the system will run. And this is what the camera is seeing within the area. If I just stop it on one of those. So it's read an EAN13 barcode, and in fact, if we look down here, it'll actually tell us this is the information that I read from the code. It was 13 characters long. What was the processing time? So it gives the technician some information. On this particular system, this is set at the moment so that the most we can run is about 200 products a minute. We could actually effectively scan at about a rate of 300 products a minute with this setup, but unfortunately the bottles fly off over 200 products a minute, so I'd have to secure the bottles a bit more sturdily to do that. So let's now have a look at the system in what we might call production conditions. So we'll just speed it up a little bit faster. So products running along the line, and we can go quite quickly. And if you have a look here and also at the camera, so you can see what the camera is seeing there. So you can see the camera taking its image, the little green light saying yes, good, good, good. And again, if I put my hand in front of it, you'll get a, if I find the right spot, you'll get a bad read, yep. So why would we use an EAN code or a 1D barcode instead of a 2D code? Well, I have mentioned some of the differences, but another important difference is that if you're using an EAN 13 barcode or an EAN 8, which is a retail style barcode, the same barcode is applied to different products. And when I say that, it might seem to be the same product, it might be a 1 litre of milk, but if you have a Christmas variant of the packaging as opposed to an ordinary variant of the packaging, they'll both have the same barcode. So that's the sort of application where you would use a 2D code like this little one, oops, like this little one here, because this code, you could have the EAN 13 on the label, and you'd also have one of these codes, and this code would change depending on the packaging variant, while the EAN 13 would stay the same. So this enables you to check, have I got the right label stock for the product I'm running, and when I say label stock, it's the variant of label stock, which is quite important. The other thing it can allow you to do is you can say, have I got the correct front and back label? In other words, does my front and back label match? Because it's very common that we run a product and we put chocolate labelling on the front and vanilla on the back, and that's an issue. So why would we use a system like this? Well, the simple answer is an automatic system like this gives you 100% inspection of every single product. It's there every day, it's really easy to use, and it's reliable. And that's why we use these systems. They are installed everywhere. There are thousands and thousands of them, and they just work.